My bad. We may not even be up on Facebook yet. My bad. I totally missed it. I unmuted the mic at least. I got 1 thing out of 10 right. Thanks, Ron. All right, so what's the strangest thing you've ever eaten? Not the weirdest thing you put in your mouth. Eaten food-wise. Please keep it clean. One more time. I'll tell you the story of Anthony, my buddy who flew up to Alaska in a little tiny airplane with my friend Pat Harrington, like a Cessna 150 or 152. I don't know how long it took him to fly up there from Colorado, but it was a long time. That's like the smallest aircraft Cessna makes. Anyway, if you didn't hear it before, they were dirt poor. They got up there. He had not been paid yet. They were cleaning up in the Exxon Valdez spill. They were paid like 17 or 20 bucks an hour. And then after 8 hours a day, they got overtime. So they worked 20 hours a day, something like that. Came back with ridiculous amounts of money. But until they got paid, well, they had to eat. And so Anthony told me the story of catching a seagull, cooking it, and saying it's probably the most disgusting thing that he'd ever eaten. And when you think about what seagulls eat, it's no wonder. And by the way, it's illegal to eat seagulls because they eat all sorts of stuff that we're not supposed to touch or eat or think about, all that stuff that we leave around. Anyway, talk about disgusting things in the news. Somebody sent me something here. This really can't be true. It can't be true because somebody sent me something about a Pepsi product. Where was that? This really can't be true. Pepsi now. All right. I guess it could be true because from Deep Ellum Distillery right here in Dallas, Texas. They are not my sponsor, but I love them to death. Good stuff. This really doesn't taste like dill pickle vodka. I got to be honest. It tastes more like bread and butter pickle vodka because it's got a little bit of salt up front. It's got this kind of creamy vodka, buttery flavor in the middle, and at the back end, it's got a little bit of just a touch of sweetness. So it's more like bread and butter pickle vodka. But apparently, this can't be true. Please, this has got to be fake. It has to be Pepsi pickle. I got to look this up. Pepsi, according to what I received. I got to put my investigator's hat on here. I have to be, I get truth in advertising. I don't want to mock Pepsi for no reason other than the fact that they don't taste as good as Coke. So Pepsi pickle has to be fake. Please tell me this is. No. Okay. Food and Wine Magazine right here. Would you drink the new pickle soda from Pepsi? You got to be freaking kidding me. And the headline of where the article starts, the main caption is, "The internet has mixed opinions." Really? You had to do research to find out that the internet is going to have mixed opinions on dill pickle Pepsi? I mean, I could have told you that. I don't know. What is everybody doing trying to change the flavor or add things to some products that are pretty damn good? I mean, Coca-Cola remember that probably the worst marketing idea ever for a cola is to go clear. Coca-Cola Clear. It looked like Zima, which was the worst idea for a malted beverage ever, by the way. So you followed their footsteps and put out on a product that was already failing and came out with Clear. I mean, if you're going to differentiate yourself, make the differentiation a point of pride, right? Something you can brag about. Hey, you know what? We're number one. Coca-Cola's because we're clear. Okay, so what did that mean? I mean, how much did you have to remove from the product? What did you have to bleach out? What additives did you have to put in there to remove the coloring to make clear Coke? And it didn't taste like Coke, by the way. It's okay. All right, so I'm going to read the article. When you reach, let me put reader view on here to keep it simple so that so we don't get all the advertisements there. When you reach for a soda, let's go to the bourbon voice. When you reach for a soda, your choices range from Coca-Cola and Pepsi staples to some more exotic selections. But now, one candy company would like to broaden your beverage horizons even further, offering up a pickle juice flavored soda at its stores and online. Grandpa Joe's Candy Shop. Oh, see, they said this was Pepsi. Somebody lied. Grandpa Joe's Candy Shop, and a candy retailer with locations in Ohio and Pennsylvania, announced this week it will begin selling bottled pickle juice soda made with pure cane sugar. Okay, so like the pure cane sugar matters after you put the pickle juice with all that sodium in there? But back to the story. In the Facebook announcement, the company wrote, if you're the kind of pickle lover, okay, it's hard to read that with a straight face. If you're the kind of pickle lover who relishes relishes all things pickled, this is going to be a really big deal. All right, I'm going to stop right there because it got a little dirty. But I suppose you could have a dill pickle vodka and Pepsi, please. All right, I'm going to get flack again. I know there are a couple of flavors that we're overdoing in society today. All right, I love bacon. You've already heard. I'm not going to talk about bacon again, but pickle juice. Pickle is one that we're overdoing. I mean, when I played soccer in high school, junior high, my son was a very good soccer player. Even when he was a marching band geek, so was I. But when it's really hot outside and you dehydrate your body, you lose all those electrolytes. Pickle juice is actually very good for you, right? You need that salt and the other minerals to, that's the conductor for all of the electrical impulses in the body. No electrolytes, no good. So I understand that. But Jesus, do you have to take something as great as a cola, already a good product, and add pickle juice to it to make it better? More is not always better. Sometimes more is just more. I'm just saying. It's like, really, I see it in restaurants all the time. You have the Baconator burger, right? Oh, I didn't share this yet. See, again, I missed it one more time. That's okay, though. No getting uptight about it today. So we're going to share this. Wait. No. All right. Oh, hey, Mojo shared our video. Thank you, Matt Locke or Ron, whoever it was. Thank you very much for sharing the video. If you're listening today on iHeartRadio, if you want to watch it, you can go to Spoony Radio on Facebook. That's pretty much the only place to see my ugly mug until tomorrow when the video feed goes up on YouTube. You can listen on iHeartRadio. Go to Spoony.com. Actually, it takes you, click on the Listen Live link, and it takes you right to Spoony Radio, right to the channel for Spoony Radio, and right to my show. So, soon, all the shows are going to be up on Spreaker for podcast, so you can listen to them after the fact if you like. We'll have more details in about 4 or 5 days. I have one show host I need to get some details from, and then the podcast will be up and running live. All of them, not live, recorded, because it's podcast every day. So, again, back to the sometimes more is just more. I'm feeling this more often. I may lead an oversimplified life, right? Seriously, I pretty much, not everything I own, but most of what I own fits in my car, and I travel with it, right? Other than I need to go pick up my bike, but I pretty much live here at the studios. At least in theory. I mean, I'm here all the time. And I like very simplistic, very pure food, beverage, and so on and so forth. But I did Asian fusion cuisine for a long time. Being a chef for Nobu at Matsuhisa and other establishments. I mean, we took Japanese center of the plate items, proteins and ingredients, used Peruvian flavorings, and then wrapped it all up in French cooking techniques. Brilliant. It worked. But you don't have to put a single flavor across the board in everything that we consume. And I said this with bacon, and I got a lot of flack. And it was funny, actually. They called me an anti-American communist bacon-hating chef. That was me. And I don't hate bacon. They know that, but it was really funny, actually, on Twitter. We don't need bacon in everything. We don't need dill pickle in everything. Try it. You know what? And if you won't drink it, the creator won't drink it, you're not going to drink that daily, don't put it on the market. Novelty things are novel for a reason. They're novel. Okay? It's a fad. It's probably not going to trend for very long, and it might not even make it to trend. It might not even trend on Twitter, which I know is what everybody's looking for. Everybody wants to trend now. Ooh, I don't think I've ever trended. Anything I've ever done is trended on Twitter or any other social media feed, but that's okay with me because I'm looking long term. That short-term flash in the pan goal, that's fine. And I know this little, I don't know what they do. I guess they're a candy company, and they're having it specially made for them, this dill pickle cola. That's fine, all right? But really, is it necessary? Doc Thompson's 5 rules. Number 5, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Again, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Keep that in mind. Really. Restaurateurs, oh my gosh. Okay. Culinary students out there, this was not what I was going to talk about, but now that I'm on the tangent, culinary school was one of the best experiences of my life. I made some great friends. I learned a ton. And I had a very short window to get into the field and actually start to practice my trade. I was already in my 20s. I'd been cooking for a while, but I was in my mid-20s, and I really wanted to get as much out of it as possible. So what I did is, I worked, a full-time job, but it was more than a full-time job. I opened, I was involved in 2 openings during my tenure at the culinary school, which is no longer there in Denver, Colorado. But, it was a fantastic experience, right? I put my all into it. But one of the things in culinary school, you learn to like push the boundaries, test the waters, go as far as you can. And that's great. That's what you're meant to do when you first come out. And it's even more important once you're a very experienced culinarian, chef, whatever you want to call yourself, foodie, to push the boundaries even further once you have mastered the basics of the craft. But it always cracks me up, and this is kind of how I see this newest ploy to get some people into their shop to try the pickle soda, the Big Dill. That's what they should call it. They should brand it the Big Dill. The Big Dill. It'd be hilarious. Now, I want to talk about. There's a coffee in Germany that I want to talk about. A canned coffee, German coffee. All right, that best commercial ever if you speak German. All right, so as a culinary student, when you come out of school, there are a couple fallacies that you come out with. A, that you're prepared to run a restaurant. I'll tell you something now. Unless you've been in the industry for a while, or you are just amazeballs, you're coming out of school and you have mastered the craft before you even went to school, you're not ready. Now, some older students that come out of school, maybe they're in their 30s, 40s, and they have a ton of business experience, and they just went to get the culinary experience. Perhaps you're ready to run a restaurant, and maybe you'll be successful. But 99% of the time, 95% of the time, you're not ready. And you can correct me on that, but that's my belief. And you can't correct me on it because I know I'm right. I know a lot of culinary students. I've hired several thousand over the years. I'm telling you, you're not ready to run a restaurant. Okay, so keep bringing the chef those ideas. Keep bringing them the ideas. Hey, chef, what if we did this? What if we did this? Yes. What if we did it? It wouldn't match with the rest of this 5-course meal. That's what would happen. But make the dish, present the dish, and you know what? When you nail it, we'll put it on the menu. I'm all for that. But the thing is, during your shift, you don't do this research. It's on your time at home. And if you want to look, I can actually, if it's for R&D, I can give you some of the ingredients to take home with you. Have your way, or come in on your time off on a Saturday. Come in early, work it out, figure it out, write it down, present it to me. If it's viable, we do it. Okay, but here's the deal. Every culinary student comes out of school and they want to do everything. Everything is over the top. It's stuff stacked a mile high on the plate. There's 6 sauces, 19 colors, 472 ingredients, because you're trying to, you're testing your wings. You're flying the nest. You're flying the coop for the first time. Your parents just pushed you out of the nest. Your culinary instructors and the dean of the school said, you are now a certified culinary graduate, because that's all you end up with. From most schools, you are a certified graduate from that school, and you may, if it's an ACF program, you may come out as a certified cook, if not a certified chef, which is unlikely because I think that takes 2 full years of experience. So you come out, you test the waters, and then you are just everything in the pan. It's like the kitchen sink on top of another kitchen sink with a chocolate bowl. It's a chocolate nest, in a bowl shape over the top that you crack to get to the kitchen sink. It literally takes you 4 days to assemble a dish. All right. And that's how I feel like everybody in food and beverage, not everyone, at least a slight majority, everyone is pushing the envelope so far by trying to incorporate new flavors, these extreme textures, so on and so forth. I have to tell you, the Mexican jalapeno M&Ms were a fail, by the way. I didn't try them on this show. I don't think we tried them in our sister station studio last week or the week before. A definite fail. As a matter of fact, there's another flavor that I need to try in the air tomorrow on the show. I need to go find them if I can find an HEB around here. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a fail as well. More is not better. It's not always better. Okay. Again, we're talking about food. Let's keep it good and clean, please. Oh, yes, I know. All right. I'm going to share that. I'm sharing it. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Hashtag, what's today? Wine down Wednesday. So today, as you've I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been putting now let's complete the sentence. So tune in and starve and or die of thirst. There you go. But seriously, I need to do. I need to get some sort of dictation device in here that will dictate to me. I know my computer will do it, but I'm not sure how that'll work. So I don't know how to turn the mic on. So, but seriously, lots of food and fun. So join in the celebration, better known as a fray, actually. Feeding frenzy? I don't know. All right, so Wind Down Wednesday. So tune in and starve or die of thirst. There's got to be an easier thing than dehydration. Die of dehydration. You starve. That's a verb. One single word to describe dying from lack of food, nutrition. There's got to be a word for that with dying from dehydration. So tune in and starve or dehydrate. That doesn't work. Because starve means to end up in death. Dehydrate does not mean to end in the ultimate of the ultimate endings. There must be a word out there. If you know it, send it in. Somebody do some research. Pick up a book. Well, I'm sorry. Look on Google. Nobody picks up a book anymore. So, all right. I'm posting. Yes, I'm posting. I'm posting my page. Jeez, lighten up, folks. Lighten up. All right. Yeah. So if you've been listening, more is not always better. Sometimes more is just more. Look, Freud said sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. All right. When it comes to food and beverage, sometimes more is just more. It goes across the board. I see it in all sorts of businesses every day. Everybody's got a gimmick. I told you yesterday about, is it Applebee's? They have this new, the strawberry margarita. That's their monthly drink this month. And that's great. It's great that they come up with a promotion. They sell it for $1, get you in the door. But why do you have to have a strawberry Twizzler straw? To me, it's kind of demeaning to the drink. Really? I don't think it adds anything. I mean, you're not getting any flavor from it. Licorice doesn't dissolve that quickly in a beverage. And at worst, it's kind of melting at the bottom because the vodka's settling at the bottom. If you stir it, well, maybe on the top. But I just don't understand it. Sometimes more is just more. It's not worth it. It's not worth your time and effort. Improve the product. If you want to knock someone's socks off, take a great product. A great product. Something everybody brags about. And you know what? Do one little thing that changes it, makes it the best ever. Seriously. The old adage when it comes to bringing a product to market is that first to market wins, which is why McDonald's is larger than Burger King. They were there first. They had a larger name. They had a national presence before Burger King even thought about going nationwide or probably regionally. But that's not always true. Burger King is closing places. In-N-Out Burger's opening places. Smash Brothers is opening places. They haven't closed a place. Five Brothers, they're opening places. They haven't closed a place. So maybe for a time, first to market wins, but ultimately the best product with adequate marketing always comes out on top. It does. The best product for the best value. I didn't say cheap, the best value. All right. Part of the reason I did this show is to give a couple of to allow the listener, whether you're in the food and beverage industry or you're the typical consumer, the average American consumer, or worldwide. You could be in any country in the world. This would more than likely apply to your market as well. I want to explain and demystify the food service business first and foremost. I want to allow and empower the average American Joe and Jane to cook things they never thought possible. Because cooking is not a mystery. Cooking is tedious as, I'll delete the expletives there, as all get out. It's a pain in the rear. It can be, but if you're prepared, you plan, all right, and you practice, that's like anything. Prepare, plan, practice. Prepare, plan, practice. Prepare, plan, practice. Or plan, prepare, practice. That's probably the way it should go. It always works. It always gets better. You may never be a great home cook, but you know what? If you can make a meatloaf or mac and cheese or something from scratch from your family, and you've never done that before, would that not feel good? If you've never done, there's, oh God, what is his name? There's a chef on, I think he's on Chef's Table. One of the ones I highlighted. He's a little different than all the other chefs. He did not start at 18 cooking in a kitchen, or 16 or 15 or even 20. He started later in his late 20s. And he grew up in a family that ate primarily processed foods. Open a box, throw it in the boiling water, add cheese powder, a little milk, butter, done on the table, right? They really didn't cook. It was all microwave and processed foods. But this guy is now, and I'll have to look it up in the break, he's one of the best chefs in America. And he's breaking ground, and he's doing fantastic. It's not revolutionary food, but it's really damn good. He's getting awards. So it doesn't matter where you started. It really doesn't. And I actually was looking. There was you know what? Actually, I'm going to look it up because I don't want to insult anyone here. So. Oh, I'll go to notifications. So yesterday, I don't know if you saw it or heard it, but you should have. And if you didn't, you should go back and listen. Mark Conway, the host of Kitchen Table, and I don't want to get this wrong, he interviewed yesterday on his show a young lady by the name of, and yes, I do listen to everyone else's show, by the way. I love them. They're fantastic. Oh, we have some really cool new stuff coming up, by the way. We have a couple of daily shows coming up. Gwen Rich of The Rich Solution. A week from this Monday, I think the 15th, she's going to go live from her home over the Spoony broadcast, over the Spoony radio network and Facebook page. She'll be live every day, or not every day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Eventually, we'll add Tuesday in. We may add Thursday in, but I think she's going to be at the 9 o'clock East Coast. I'll make sure on that. But so yesterday, Mark Conway, he interviewed Letty Alvarez from LA Sweets, and what I really admired about her, I don't know her, I've never met her, I've never even spoken to her, never said hi. Never, and I'll admit, I've never seen her on Food Network. I never watched what she's done. I'm sorry, I will, because I like that. But she said, you're never too old to achieve what you want, to achieve your desires. So scale down your desires. Maybe you just want to feed yourself for once, cook all your meals. My son's 20. He cooks his own meals. All right. I'm not saying that to demean anyone. He wants to eat what he wants to eat. He wants to eat clean and pure and what he needs. So think about that. If you've never cooked for your family before, shock the hell out of them. Buy some groceries. Call me. I'll give you the recipes. Private message me. I'll give you my personal cell number. 2-minute break. We're right back.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter @Food Biz Pro.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252.
It looks like you're losing.
I am.
Are you losing weight?
I am losing. I've lost about 10 pounds.
How are you doing it?
Funny name, but I've done it with Riduzone. RADUzone.com, and the stuff works. It's, you get into all that, the molecule this and the found in that. All I can tell you is it makes you feel full, and it keeps your mind off of wanting to overeat.
And also boost your metabolism,
Yes,
so you're
it does.
burning more.
Yeah, it does.
Try it today. It's going to work for you like it's worked for Brad and countless other people. RidUZone.com. RIDU zone.com.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Welcome back. Hey, glad you didn't catch me taking a nip out of that dill pickle vodka. Actually, I didn't. I really didn't. Not this show, anyway. I'm sure someday I'm going to have a really bad day. We're going to come back from break, which I forget is not live, that you can see me the whole time. I need to be sure not to pick my nose or butt while I'm on the show. But I'm sure you'll see me one day just chugging out of the bottle. Somebody's going to bring me either really good news or really bad news, and you'll get to celebrate or cry with me right after we go back to live. Just wait for it. I promise. And I want to thank Franklin Horst. By the way, yesterday you made a comment about talking to John from Jazz Townsend and Sons, and actually about historical cooking. And I've seen his YouTube channel. He was mentioned in the past to me, recommended. I will follow up because I would love to explore the significance of cooking in the past. Think about what we had available to us 100 years ago from a technology standpoint: electricity, gas, so on and so forth. I don't think most people cannot imagine how difficult it was, or what a task, how tedious it was. Not difficult, tedious it was to cook back then. We have everything at our fingertips now. Look, I'm serious. If you don't want to follow a big recipe and do it on your own, buy an Instapot. Whatever. But look, learning to cook and feed the people you love, I think you'd be surprised at the rewards that you gain from that. Let's see. I think if I add a second Facebook page here. See, look at that. I'm on Spoony Radio. Spoony Radio's live. I can add another page. See, I can open 2 tabs and manage 2 Facebook feeds at a time. Damn, I'm getting smart. Yep. All right, start watch parody right there. So, look, I was talking about keeping things simple. I have to tell you, I've worked in a lot of restaurants. Doc Thompson always told me he had more jobs. He'd been fired from more jobs than anyone he ever knew. Probably right, but I've probably had I think I may have more jobs than anyone I know. Seriously. I mean, jobs that I actually was committed to. Not that I just went in for a short term to learn a few things, right? So, I can't even remember them all. Okay, so above and beyond the question of what was the strangest food you've ever eaten, right? Not the worst, but the strangest. Oh, man, the worst job. It doesn't have to be in the culinary industry. I will tell you the worst job I ever had. And I've had some really, really interesting positions. But I think it was 16. It was before I moved to Germany when I was 17. So anyway, I had a job in the summertime, which if you've ever lived in Arizona in the summertime, it's like 150 degrees every day. It's freaking unbearable. But I had a job where, my sister, good afternoon, Gay, how are you? I love you, miss you. Give the kids a hug. I mean, all of them, the older ones and the younger ones as well. And prayers to my niece Shaughnessy and our little baby girl she just had. This job, for those of you who don't know, Arizona had a big military base, Williams Field Air Force Base. I believe Luke is still there, but it was kind of southeast of Phoenix, about 50 miles south of the town I lived in, Chandler. And this is not food related, so just bear with it. But this was by far the worst job I ever had. My job was to take these large caliber shells. Don't even correct me. I don't know what the size was. I didn't care. By the time I got done, I hated that job so much. I never, ever, ever wanted to think about this ever again. But I'll tell you, I had to knock. What they did is they filled up these. There's a hopper, like a big rectangular hopper, that sat on a metal table. Everything was metal. It was this steel table that had these stations around it every 3 feet. And the station basically had a square piece of plate steel that was welded to the table. I know it's not food related, but I'm just telling you the worst job I ever had. I don't care if it's food related or not. It sucked, okay? Well, actually, some people did very well. For me, it wasn't so great. All right, so that's welded to the table. In the middle of that plate steel, before they welded it, had about a 2.5-inch, 3-inch diameter hole cut all the way through. They welded it down, and in the center of that, where they had welded it to the table, in the center of that hole that was in the plate steel, there was a hole in the table that was about 1/2 inch across. Here was the job. They filled this giant hopper with these expended shells, right? The shells that have been fired, and they were large caliber. They're not like, large mortar-sized shells, but they're significant. Now, 50 caliber, you're thinking, no, bigger. Like, these shells are 3 inches across. So I don't know what the hell size it is. I don't care. The job sucked. I'm just getting to the point. My job was at the bottom of this hopper, there was it was a mesh, it was like a mesh hopper. It was this thick steel mesh, but you could reach down and grab one shell, and you take the shell, you put it in the hole in the middle of that plate steel that was mounted to the table, and then you took a 30-pound steel rod and you knocked the firing pin out. Now, the whole purpose of this was you knock the firing pin out and the rest of that mechanism so that they could recycle. They would melt these shells down, recycle it, and they would repurpose them. They'd make new casings, right? And it was, man, it was a bitch. It was the physically hardest job. I can endure almost anything. I think I lasted 3 weeks. Now, it wasn't just because it was physically difficult. You also had to fill up with those shells a dumpster. Yes, I said a dumpster, at least 3/4 of the way to hit your quota and get your full pay. Now, your full pay was obviously more than your average basic hourly wage, but it was, at that point, I think I was making $6.50 an hour or something like that back in those days. Less, maybe $5.75. So it was either $5.75 or you got $8.75. I'll tell you, in 3 weeks' time, and I busted my hump, man. I was a firing pin knocking. I mean, man, I would go home with a headache at night from pounding that 30-pound metal rod against that steel table, and it vibrated up through your hand, into your shoulder, into the back of your neck. And I think I hit quota one time in 3 weeks. There was a big kid, this big black kid from South Phoenix standing next to me. His name was Mark. I'll remember Mark forever. That dude, when he would hit his quota by 1 o'clock. We went in at 6 a.m. We would work till 3 p.m. That guy hit his quota by noon or 1 o'clock. He would help me fill it. And I think it's the only day I ever hit quota was the first day he helped me. Man, that guy and he'd help the guy next to him on the other side. He was a big kid. He was just a high school summertime, part-time worker as well. Anyway, worst job ever. Best job ever? I got to think about that. There were pros and cons to every culinary position I've had, but I can guarantee it was something in the culinary field. My best job ever was not a job. It was what I created for myself, which was becoming a restaurant and food service consultant. By far the best. You know what's funny? I have a watchbook thing. So I want to know how this works. I need to figure this out because I started a watch party on my personal page, right? I did not start one on Spoony because I don't want them to conflict. But I didn't start one on my page. I mean, I didn't. And I only have one viewer, and I'm the one watching. All right, so there is no one else watching at this point, which is fine. Not like I have 4,000 friends on Facebook or anything. But now I'm curious, who actually gets the invitation if I don't invite people? Does anyone get it, or do I have to personally invite people? Because obviously, Facebook doesn't make it easy. I'm not complaining about Facebook, but it's difficult to reach the people you want to reach, right? You have to know the algorithm. You have to work the system, and I obviously don't know what I'm doing. So if you know the magic trick, you can private message me at Facebook. It's at Food Biz Pro or at Patrick Mosher or at Spoony Radio. Or you can just simply put something in the comments and I will switch over to the other page on Spoony and I'll keep coming back to this one. And somebody did comment, by the way. Oh, look at y'all love me. People are listening. They're tuning. Ooh, we can have your number. Doug, this is probably Pat on Doug's behalf. You already have my number. You were my very first consulting client on Doc's show previously at the other format. So yes, you can have my number. But it's the Spoony call online number. It's not my number. Sorry. All right. So, interesting. I can't figure this stuff out. I mean, I can. I don't want to waste my time figuring it out. Look, Facebook, here's something I would tell everybody I've ever worked with in any. I didn't get the invite. Stephen Alls. No, I want to stay on the page. So, Stephen, I can't. Dang it, I can't. It won't, so here's the thing. I can't read the comment unless I leave the page. All right, I'm going to look on my phone. I'm going to guess it said he didn't get the invite. Okay, so I'm curious. If I start a watch party and I don't invite anyone, does anyone get the invite? Because yesterday I started a watch party and people showed up without me inviting anyone. So I'm going to keep inviting while I do this. Here's the deal, Facebook. Anybody who has a business, this is imperative to your long-term survival. Because Facebook, I'm telling you, your audience is shrinking. Look, I'm 51 years old. I don't have an alternative to this. Well, there's MeWe, but MeWe's a pain in the butt. Okay, it doesn't have the features you have. It doesn't. It's not as robust as you are. So why do you make it so difficult to use you? Come on, I'm trying to show you some love. I'm trying to get people watching, trying to get them to look at our page. Man, we get enough followers, enough I can start monetizing this. Get advertisers. I can start doing live reads on here. Come on. Yeah, I'll pay you money. But here's you make it so difficult to reach an audience. The algorithm changes weekly, and you don't tell us what it is. If you have a business, this is what I do. Common sense business practices. If you have a business, you have to make it easy or at least reasonably approachable or understandable for your clientele base, the people you provide a service or product to understand how to use your product or your service. How many people get, okay, we won't use IKEA because I like IKEA. All right. It's kind of expensive for what you get, but some of the stuff's kind of cool, right? Okay. Any product you buy a shelving unit. We'll keep it food related. You're going to put in new kitchen cabinets, but you buy the self-contained units are all like just plug and play. You just slap them in, bolt them down, you're done. Okay. Wouldn't it be nice to have actual instructions instructions in your language, English, Spanish, I don't care, French, German, Moroccan, is that a language? I'm not sure. Wouldn't it be nice to have directions you can actually follow? Right? I really recommend, look, keep it simple. Whatever your concept is, keep it simple. I'm going to give you my favorite example of a restaurant concept. There's a place called Jordan, and if you haven't been there, it's JRDN. All right, come on. No reason to sign off because I didn't notice you were on there. At first, it said one person watching, and I was the only person up there. Come on now. Why is there? Damn. Gosh. I'm speaking in general terms, folks. I'm telling you, for the first, the first whole half hour after I posted it, until I invited people, and yes, you were invited, until I invited you, you were not watching on my page. Not that it showed me. It said one person watching, and it showed me. So anyway, here's the deal. Jordan Restaurant, JRDN. It's in, let's see, Pacific Beach, right? Pacific Beach. Great little place, just north of San Diego. It goes, let's see, how does that go? You have, obviously you go south, you're all the way in Tijuana, and then you have, oh man, what's down there? What's the last beach? I don't know. Last beach, I don't know. I think Coronado Island, you got Point Loma, blah, blah, blah. And then you hit Mission Bay. You got Mission Beach, Pacific Beach, blah, blah. Oh, goes up the coast. All right, so Mission Beach, very cool area. There's a restaurant in Jordan, JRDN. It's a steakhouse and seafood house. See, now, I'm on the other page now. 2 people watching. And by the way, you cannot watch 2 at once, I don't think, unless you go to another page. And whoever was just, annoyed by the fact that I didn't recognize you're watching, I invited you to that one. So open a second. I'm curious now. Open a second window in your browser and join that one and see if you can watch both 2 at once. I'm curious. I'm going to figure this out. I'm smart enough. I'm dedicated enough, and I'm relentless. I'm ruthless. I almost dropped that one. Anyway, Jordan has this very cool menu. It's very simple. It's basically choose your protein. They have, 5 or 6 cuts of steak. They have veal. They have pork. They have poultry. You choose whatever you want. It says, choose your rub. If you want to rub on there, a dry rub of some sort, they have 6 or 7, varieties. You choose that. The next one says, basically you can have it roasted, broiled. They're mostly all grilled, right? But then it's choose your sauce. That's right. They got 7 or 8 sauces to choose from. And then choose your side. So basically they have 4 columns. Choose your protein, right? Choose your rub. Choose your sauce. Choose your sides. You completely custom build everything that you eat there except the side. But, that's a little customizable with or without garlic, with or without butter, cream, etc. Allergens. But, I find it interesting. Oh, John J. Van Ness. Hey, anybody out there got John J's number? John J., I don't have your number, dude. I'd text you and bug the hell out of you. Dude, listen to my show. Maybe you've listened before. John Jay, I may not give you enough credit, dude. You're a busy guy. And if you've never heard of it, the Love Up Project with John Jay, #Love Up, check it out. I'm not going to tell you everything about it. John J. Van Ness, a good friend from Chandler, Arizona, high school and post-high school years. He's like a big name now on the radio. So, I'd love if he'd listen sometime, give me some pointers. John Jay, private message me. I'll give you my cell number. I need some help. I need advice. Anyway, Jordan's menu is the perfect example of a very streamlined process that the guest can identify with without anyone trying to explain it. It's quickly and instantly, it's instantly understandable. You choose one from this column, choose one from this column, choose one from this column, choose 2 from this column, or 1 if you only want one side. It's all a la carte. Anyway, if you get a chance to go to San Diego in Mission Beach, it's Jordan, JRDN. And while you're there, go a little early. Go early in the afternoon. Walk the Strand, walk the beach. All right. Here's the cool thing. There's a place there called the Green Flash. And if you've never heard of the Green Flash is something that happens right at sunset. Anyone know what the Green Flash is? Laura Geen, she's going to be calling at the bottom of the hour, or at the bottom of the next hour, rather, for Wine Down Wednesday, where I think we're going to talk more rosés today with one of my favorite wines, which is the Conundrum from, is that Warren Vineyard? Hey, we'll talk about that. But she knows what I'm talking about because she lived in La Jolla for a long time. That was prior to me being there. We didn't know each other way back then. We just met in Bentonville, and she and her husband Tom and I became friends, and they were my favorite people up there. Except my partner, Barry Furseth, and crazy old Chef Jeff Wetzel, the cowboy chef. But the Green Flash is this cool thing that happens. If you're in San Diego, go to the Green Flash, hang out, get a cocktail, get some fried calamari or onion, I don't know, get whatever you want. But hang out on the back porch, facing west. It's right on the beach. And at sunset, if you're lucky, you might see it once in your life. There's an optical phenomenon that happens. It's not an illusion. It's a phenomenon. What happens, though, when the sun just crests the horizon, when it's going over the horizon, right? It's not coming up, going over. When it just goes over the horizon, there's this. It looks like a flash of light. The whole ocean turns kind of green. It's really surreal. I've seen it one time. Lived in San Diego for a couple of years. I've lived other places. Lori D. Green Flash has something to do with not eating enough protein and then pooping. Ask her on. I think that's something to do with your gallbladder, by the way. Yep. I haven't found one that only has 1 or 2 in it today, though. Richard Brand. Oh, what's that? I haven't found one that only has 1 or 2 in it today. All right, Richard. 1 or 2 what? 1. Chef. Okay. All right. Hello to everybody. You. Love our listeners. They're very loyal. If you've never heard of them, Doc's listeners, which are mostly my listeners. Most of my listeners were formerly Doc Thompson's listeners. They still listen to him. Maybe some of him from the great beyond. But they're very loyal, and they're very vocal, and they're very funny. And they can be relentless when it comes to me saying something anti-bacon, right? But, all right, back to simplicity. If you can go to the Green Flash, go. It's awesome. It's very cool. It's a little dive bar, right? It's right on the beach, though. It's fun. Check it out. Trying to think where else. Mission Burritos. Ooh, Mission Burritos is good. Deborah Helm. If you go to San Diego, Deborah Helm, her son is a chef, too. Her son was a chef at this great Italian restaurant. I can't remember the name. It was near a shopping center. I'll think of it sometime. But Deborah Helm, she was an iconic chef in the San Diego food scene. She had several restaurants. There was one just past, like 3 blocks from my house. It was more fine dining, but Mission Burritos, man, they have the best. The best. I think they only used to be open for breakfast and lunch, and I think they're now breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But they have fantastic burritos. Matter of fact, I can pull up their menu. Mission Burritos. And the first one, I think, was in Mission Beach. They opened up Pacific Beach, downtown. They've got several now. Mission Burritos, San Diego. If I got this wrong, I'm going to kick myself. Deborah Helm, Mission Burritos. Come on, man. Not Mission Style. Are they not there anymore? What? Can't be. All right, let's type in Deborah Helm. Oh, the Mission. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. But that's the Mission is different. All right. Anyway, Deborah Helm, fantastic chef. Yeah, the Mission restaurant. Okay. Oh yeah, that's it. So yeah, they have these amazing breakfast burritos. Oh my goodness, they are to die for. I'm a breakfast person. I like waffles. I like pancakes. I like bacon. But what I really like is a breakfast burrito. I mean, a big ass breakfast burrito. Remember Dave Letterman? He had that big giant can of ham, big ass ham. That's how I want my breakfast burrito. It covers up the plate. It's like 4 inches across, 9 inches long. Yeah, come on, don't go there. It's big. It's big. I mean, when you walk out, that should be enough calories for your entire day. It has to be smothered in green chili for my taste. It can, the component, the internal components, the ingredients can vary. As a matter of fact, there's a place called Pete's Kitchen. I've talked about them before on the air in Denver, Colorado. Pete's this little Greek guy that had, several locations, not Pete's Kitchen, but other establishments. Pete was a great businessman. Pete's Kitchen was open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Only 2 cooks ever. They probably had close to 200 seats. 2 cooks, short order cooks, serving all those people 24 hours a day. During the daytime was just 1 until lunch. Then they had 2, then the lull, and then in the evening, though, when people started drinking, it was cold out. You wanted Pete's Kitchen. They had a couple of iconic things. Their breakfast burrito smothered in that green chili, like a green hatch chili green salsa. Oh man, it's like a green chili gravy, but without dairy in it. Unbelievable. And I really believe Colorado can hold its own against New Mexico. Greg Cocker, my buddy, you look, Mr. Albuquerque, don't give me any crap, okay? Colorado can hold its own in the green chili category. Yeah, I know hatch chilies are a little hotter, a little more popular, but I'm telling you, they do great green chili products up there. The other thing, unrelated to breakfast burritos, they had this Euro breakfast, or Euro breakfast. Pete's Euro. It's a breakfast Euro, dude. It's a breakfast Euro. It doesn't matter what it's called. It's they made fresh pita, and it was awesome because they keep them in a hot drawer and then grill them right before order. Like they keep them warm and just char them a little bit, and then they take this sheet of scrambled eggs. They make almost like a crepe of scrambled eggs, about a quarter to a half an inch thick, and they fold that up. It's really light and fluffy, but not thick. Okay, but the texture's light. Then they put the lamb beef Euro meat. Oh, and they had the good stuff. This was stuff that they skewered themselves and slow roasted on their own rotisserie. This was not the stuff that you buy that looks like mincemeat, bound with some sort of sawdust and shaped to fit on the rotisserie, right? It's fantastic. They would shave that in there, and they made their own tzatziki sauce, but they didn't have the big chunks of which is a yogurt, cucumber sauce, but it didn't, and dill. It did not have the big chunks of cucumber in there, so it just had little tiny pieces to give it this kind of even texture. Man, their breakfast Euro was unbelievable. Yes, many nights after working in Denver, I swear no drinking involved ever after work. Often 2 a.m. ended up at Pete's Kitchen. 40 or 50 people deep in a line at, it's like 1 degree outside. Worth it though. Anyway, I love breakfast. I love burritos. How did I get? Oh, back to the original topic. Simplification. So I'm working with a potential advertiser here, and I can't go into too many details because I don't want to. We're kind of under a confidentiality clause until we do or don't secure a deal with them. But man, this is a complicated process, and it shouldn't be that way. It should be really straight and simple. You have a product, you want somebody to advertise, you simply work together to get the product on the air, and the details of the monetary negotiation. Those are details, man. That's just stuff you work out. That's what you give your attorney. I don't have an attorney, but that's what you tell your attorneys to do, right? So Ron will take care of that. I don't understand how people often don't want to leverage what I would call in a restaurant your greatest capital asset, or your best, your biggest, your boldest, your most recognized assets. So in a kitchen, this person we're working with, it's, again, I'm not going to go into details, but for some reason or other, what we want to do, they don't want to do because they're trying to differentiate past personality and present personality. I don't really understand that. So that's like saying I have a kitchen. Your largest capital asset, your largest investment in a restaurant is your kitchen equipment. So, yes, okay, I have this kitchen now, right? I have put $300,000 into my kitchen, but you know what? I really don't want to use that equipment. I'd rather just, I want to do stuff that we cook elsewhere, outside on a grill, because we don't have a grill. I want to do grilled foods, though. It makes no sense. Why? You have to leverage the assets that you have, right? In the case of Pete's Kitchen, his cultural heritage, Greek, the fact that they could be open 24 hours a day, the fact they had two amazingly badass line cooks who could cook anything you wanted in a matter of minutes, and the fact that their location was in such a centrally located, it still is in Denver, central location in Denver, that anybody would go there, right? So they stayed open 24/7, and they capitalized on that business. But you have 5 steam kettles, these big pots to cook soup and sauces in, and you have a deli, and you decide not to do soups. That's asinine. It's not logical. But people do this all the time, especially in restaurants. You see a restaurant that maybe is designed or was originally a smokehouse, but we're going to turn it into a fine dining establishment, right? Because I know those guys made money over here for 50 years, but doggone it, I'm going to do my own thing. Okay, why wouldn't you just rebrand, make it your own concept, right? And then continue on down that path. It's something called pride over profit, which I'm going to start doing a weekly segment called Pride Over Profit. And forgive me for not making eye contact with the camera. I'm still trying to invite people to, because I got these 2 watch parties going on now on 2 different pages. Pride over profit. Is your ego too big to allow you to make a profit? Is it too big to allow you to change your business concept? Because God darn it, by golly, it's my concept. I'm not changing it for nothing. I'm not adding salt to the pot. If they don't like it, they don't have to eat it. Well, if they don't eat it, you don't make any money. That's like chefs being too proud to put salt and pepper on the table. Really. The day of the era when you could tell people, dictate exactly what you're going to have, when you're going to have it, how you're going to have it, that's gone. We need to be able to accommodate people. And why shouldn't you? As a matter of fact, there was a great interview on Trey Chapman's show, Trey's Chat Down Live, right here on Spoony Radio last Friday. If you go to YouTube, or you can come back to the Spoony channel, go to SpoonyRadio.com or Trey's Chat Down Live. There's a great interview with Dean Faring, legendary chef right here from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Look it up. Check it out. He's from Fort Worth, not Dallas. Really talks about that. It's not a difficult concept, folks. All right. Hey, 4 minutes to break. I got to go pee. Come right back.
This is the only 24-hour take-anywhere platform dedicated to food and fun. We're Spoony.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. The House Judiciary Committee has issued a subpoena for the full Mueller report.
Chairman Gerald Nadler arguing that Congress has a duty to review the investigation.
That job requires us to evaluate the evidence for ourselves not the Attorney General's summary, not a substantially redacted synopsis, but the full report and the underlying evidence.
Georgia Republican Doug Collins.
Why are we here today?
Chairman Gerald Nadler arguing that Congress has a duty to review the investigation.
That job requires us to evaluate the evidence for ourselves, not the Attorney General's summary, not a substantially redacted synopsis, but the full report and the underlying evidence.
Georgia Republican Doug Collins.
Why are we here today doing preemptive subpoenas? Because we're going to be out for a while. We're not going to be here for a while, and we need to keep the story rolling.
Attorney General Barr has promised to release a redacted version of the report by mid-April.
Capitol Hill correspondent Wally Hines reporting. The State Department is suggesting that diplomacy has failed to stop Russia from intervening in Venezuela. White House correspondent Greg Clugston has more in this report.
Russia has sent military personnel and equipment into Venezuela against the wishes of the United States. And Secretary of State Mike Pompeo tells the Salem radio network that diplomatic efforts have fallen short.
Tried to convince them it's not in their best interest. I think I failed at that. And so now we will turn to the other tools of American power.
Pompeo doesn't specify if those tools include sanctions or military action, but he says President Trump has made it clear that Russia needs to get out of Venezuela. Greg Clugston, the White House.
And on Wall Street, stocks have been higher throughout the day. The Dow is ahead now 1 point. The NASDAQ up 41, and the S&P is ahead 5. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075. Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0823.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
We're back and we're live. Welcome back. Hey, yes. So apparently I don't see the same thing that my viewers see, because I see one person on my personal page and I see 5 viewers on the Spoony page. Facebook, you're driving me to drinking. Seriously. So I usually bring in my glass of water, which is not water. It's Gatorade today, just like yesterday, which surprisingly, though, I remembered I was drinking Gatorade yesterday and that the flavor kept shocking me because typically it's water. But this was coffee. It was tepid coffee, or room temperature. That would be warm and not warm enough to drink like coffee, not hot like it should be. And I finished it. But, now I'm trying to figure out all this crap with Facebook and how you get people to watch and how the hell you can actually keep track of it. Because you can't just spread the video around to all these pages and then it tallies it for you. No, that's too difficult. They have 19,000 lines of code for I'm sorry. You know what? I am bitching today. Lent's over for me. I'm done. All right? What? I mean, how difficult do you have to make it for me to invite my friends to watch a damn video? All right? I'm not talking about the president. I'm not talking about, it's freaking food. All right, I'm done. I'm not angry anymore, but gee, what the heck? What do I have to do to get 1,000 views a day besides invite 3,000 people to watch my video? And yes, look, this is not to listeners. This is at Facebook. All right? Seriously. You have a company which is the most influential platform, the largest voice in the world, and you make it so difficult for us to use. What do you expect us to do but leave? Why do you think my daughter's 17, soon to be 18. Happy birthday, Bailey, in case I'm not there. But she's soon to be 18. She has never once opened an account on Facebook because she says it's ridiculous. It's for old people. It's behind the times. I think in your attempt to catch up to these other social media platforms, you've lost an entire generation. Gen Z's gone. Gen Y barely uses it. And Gen X, we're fed up. The ones before us, the baby boomers, hell, they don't even know what the hell to do. How to log in. No offense. Oh, that's my brother. Sorry. Gary, Galen, Bernice, and Karen. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that you're too old and too feeble to figure it out. I didn't mean that. But I'm telling you, look, again, simplicity. Keep stuff simple, right? Your message should be simple. We're talking about branding. We're talking about, literally, this is the largest platform. How many billion users use this? A couple. All right, out of like 7+ billion people in the world. That's tremendously powerful. So then why do you hamstring us? So this is a prime example of what not to do in a restaurant. Right? Don't make your style of service, your menu, the whole concept so complicated that nobody gets it. Right? Or it's too tedious to manage. We've all been to that restaurant, right? Yes. Could I get the goose liver? Oh, you mean the foie gras? No, the goose liver. I don't speak French. Just be nice to me and serve me the damn food. It's $60 and I'm paying. You know, this. I love the foodie culture. I do. So here's the cool thing about the current times. That's funny. My viewership just spiked to like 12, which is big for me at one time. Now it's back down to 7. I guess Angry Patrick drove you away. But we look, restaurants have evolved. If you look at the 60s, 70s, early 80s, the pinnacle of dining, the dining experience, the only fine dining restaurants you ever found anywhere, there were some nice Italian restaurants. The only fine dining restaurants were French. All of them. I mean, 100%. There was nothing more than that. Then you got to the late 80s, early 80s, mid 80s, late 80s, you had these American cuisine, fusion, so on and so forth, right? And you still have the classics. You still have the classic French, the classic, and then they started to infuse their foods like Brennan's and, you know, all these big players, Commander's Palace, right? The one Le Cirque in New York, all these wonderful venues. Then American cuisine, Southwest cuisine, these other regional cuisines started hitting their target. Then you have these. What do you have? Molecular gastronomy with El Bulli in Spain. Okay, let me tell you, this is the prime example of what not to do if you ever want to make any damn money in your life. Now, granted, these two brothers, right? I don't want to get this wrong. El Bulli. There were two brothers. One a chemist, right, and one a chef. And you'd think I actually remember the whole story, but you know what? I've slept since then. I'm tired and I don't. El Bulli. All right. El Bulli was a 3 Michelin star restaurant in Catalonia, Spain. Okay. For those of you not familiar with, by the way, Cody Stortz, he's the host of Reckless, the Reckless podcast, by the way. He's going to be delayed. We're going to put him on Thursday or Friday. He's in a meeting right now that he can't get out of, but we're going to talk about some really cool stuff, some updates, and a great place for you to buy those gourmet ingredients that you may want to use at home if you're into molecular gastronomy, just rare chocolates, the best of the best of the best of the products that you can find all over the world. They are assembled in one single warehouse. Oh, there are several distribution centers, nationwide distribution. You can mail order. If you're a restaurant, they have the trucks to deliver. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. But El Bulli, all right, established in 1964. Was it really that long? Okay, it must have been All right. Maybe it was 1964, but it was not always that cutting edge, right? The chef was Ferran Adria. Okay. Ferran Adria. I don't speak Spanish very well. I'm sorry, man. It's just kitchen Spanish. Arriba, abajo, mucho caliente. Okay, piso mojado. Look, I don't speak Spanish. I really don't. I understand a lot, but entiendo mucho, no hablo mucho. Hablo poquito, muy poquito. So anyway, it was a great restaurant. This was the #1 restaurant in the world several years in a row. Really cutting edge. And if you don't know what molecular gastronomy is, think of encapsulating a dressing, like a Caesar dressing or a balsamic dressing inside of a gelatin capsule, but it's not gelatin. It's another substance. We don't need to get into it. But encapsulating that, making this giant pearl of dressing that you set next to the salad in a spoon of olive oil, so that so there's the olive oil, you've got the balsamic vinegar with the other ingredients inside this encapsulated gelatin-like capsule, and then you pour that on top of the neatly arranged greens that you have on the plate, and then you break the capsule open and you have a dressing instantly. Okay, that's what we're talking about. Sous vide, that was one of the first. That really didn't come from that. It started before that, but that's all incorporated. Molecular gastronomy, the use of science in cooking, and like making sorbet tableside using liquid nitrogen and mandarin orange juice, and maybe something like kick-ass citradelic beer from New Belgium Brewery up in Fort Collins, which if you actually go back to my YouTube feed or my Facebook feed from about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, Kent Cottle, the L. Kent Cottle of Z Catering and Events in Fort Collins. We did a great demonstration on that, but I'm telling you, citradelic beer, mandarin orange juice, and 3 ingredients. That was it. Liquid nitrogen. Tableside, beautiful. All right. So El Bulli. This is a great example. They should show this in business school about what not to do in a restaurant unless you have more money than God, or Bill Gates, rather. All right, so this restaurant, you needed a reservation for at least a year ahead of time. They took reservations for one day only. The entire following year's reservations were taken. Okay. The average price of a meal, $325 for one person. You have to think that this restaurant it's not open anymore, right? Okay. It closed in 2011. $325. This is 2011. That's without wine. This is just the food. The average cost of a meal, $325. Okay, so they had this fantastic menu that highlighted the most amazing culinary creations. I was wondering where that sound's coming from. It's coming from my own computer. Okay, the most amazing culinary creations that could be that were this amazing mesh between gastronomic arts and science. Unbelievable. Okay, I still hear something. It must be coming from I must have I'm a guy who's deaf in one ear. I'm hearing something coming from somewhere. Let me turn. They're all down. Nope. It's the most imaginative. It was the most imaginative generator of hot cuisine on the planet. But that's what the UK newspaper, The Guardian, said. Just unbelievable. Okay, so they never, in all the time that they were open during the molecular gastronomy phase, right? They never made a dime. They were continuously in the red. And, I mean, they were in the red, but, okay, think about this. They were in the red. They had free labor, and they were in the red. They lost money every quarter consecutively for 10 years that I'm aware of. They lost money every quarter. How do you continue to operate? Well, in most cases, you don't. In this case, they had these the book sales were phenomenal. They had book tours. They had, private party. I can't imagine what they put $25,000, $30,000 for a private party in your home for 15, 25, 35 people. Grand $500 a pop, easily. Yeah, it's $325 in the restaurant. You want to dine at your house? We got to bring staff and do all this stuff in your house. We don't have the equipment. We got to bring it with us. Yes, that's $500 a person, easy, maybe more. Hell, I've done dinners for $325 a pop, and that's just like lobster. Maybe we do a lobster station where I actually shell the lobster for you with 2 sauces, split the tail, 1 shell on each plate, 2 salads, 2 dressings. Oh, that's $60 a person, $80 a person for a half lobster. Okay, and I do it live in front of you, present it, and then we go and plate the other courses. So, okay, probably $500 a person. They never made a penny. That's a bad business model. All right, and granted, what they did changed the face of the food world forever. Did they retire millionaires? I don't know, but they did. They did. They set some records. They won. They won from Restaurant Magazine, right? And they won all sorts of Michelin stars and the Michelin's best. But Restaurant Magazine named them the #1 restaurant in the world in its top 50 list 5 times more than any other restaurant. 5 times. 2002, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And #2 in 2010. But they still didn't make any money. So, although this is not the perfect case, they were really proud of what they were doing. Really proud. So, just to give you a little history, the chef, Ferran Adria, he joined in 1984. The restaurant, like I said, the restaurant opened in way back when, like in the 50s, right? They opened in, you'd think I could at least keep track of that, but they opened, they ran for 50 plus years. How can I not know that? All right. So, but he joined the restaurant in, it was Select 61, German, Czech, opened in 61. They always opened in 64. He became the chef. It won its first Michelin star in 76 under Jean-Louis Nechel. Okay, great chef in his own right. But Ferran Adria, he joined the staff in 84. Okay, 8 years after that? He was put in charge of the entire kitchen in 87. They got their second Michelin star in 1990, and in 1997, their third star. Okay, right about that time, between the 90 and 97 point, like I'm going to say probably 93, because it was prior to the entire molecular gastronomy phase, that's when they really became famous, and that's when they also started losing money. So this pride over profit thing, and it's true, pride over profit, that's when you put your ego above the survival of a business. It happens all the time. I see it day in, day out. I'm sure you've seen it too. I mean, it's not uncommon. I've worked for a lot of owners, and I'm not knocking owners. If you're an owner that owns a restaurant, but you're not from the restaurant industry, a lot of times it's great because you have good business sense and you have insight as a consumer that other people don't have. But you also don't know the business. And oftentimes, the menu stays flat or still. It doesn't change. Or you try to go the other direction. It's a chef-driven restaurant. Hey, we're a chef-driven concept. We're going to change the menu every day. Okay. Is it feasible to change the menu every day in your area with your demographic, with your consistent clientele looking forward? Do they want that? Pride over profit. It's not about what you want to give the consumer. Doc Thompson told me the best piece of advice ever when it comes to radio, not food service. He said, he once talked to a producer, I think it was a station manager, and he said, hey, Doc, how do you decide what you're going to say every day on the radio? He goes, well, I think about what the listeners want to hear, and I research those stories. I'll put it together and I put it on the radio. Okay, he didn't have a Southern accent, but that sounded kind of funny. And he said, that's the wrong approach. He goes, well, what should I be telling them? He goes, you should be telling them what you want them to learn with passion. Inspire them. Educate them. And that's right. On the radio, what I do right now is I'm telling you what I think I need you to know. Of course, I don't want to tell you something I don't think is interesting, that it's something you want to appreciate. That'd be stupid of me. But at the same time, if I want to have an impact, I need to tell you what I think is important. Okay? But I'm also not selling this to you. I'm giving this to you, right? Well, hopefully we're selling it to you in the form of sponsor supporting our advertisers, which, as you can see, we just have 1 million advertisers here now, really. But I do need to give a plug later. But yeah, In the restaurant industry, it's a little different. You don't open up a barbecue place in the middle of Little Italy, New York, unless you know that maybe there's a need for it. Maybe there's a demand for it. Oh, maybe you do. Maybe that's because that's so foreign to that population. Maybe that's where you do open one. Okay? But do you open one in Botswana? Do you open one in Norway? Maybe Norway. I don't know. Do you open one in downtown London? I don't know. But you know what? Test the waters first. Okay, so then say that you open up this barbecue establishment in an area of London that only eats fish or fish tacos or seafood, whatever. It's a coastal town, right? They're not used to barbecue. They don't like smoke. They don't like it. So then what do? Do you stay open until you fail, or do you change your business model, adapt, and survive? Pride or profit? You can only choose one typically. It's very rare you can feed both. It is. You have to choose one. What is more important to you? And if it's pride, man, or woman, you have real problems. It really is. Pride over profit is the second most consistent reason I see restaurants fail. Really. It's not, look, being proud of what you do is great. And by the way, everyone who's listening, I see 0 Facebook watchers on my page, on my personal Facebook page, Patrick Mosher. I'm just saying, I'm not asking you to come watch. I just want to know how many you see, because on the other page, I see 7. Actually, I see 5 now. Sorry. Okay, not 7. I'm going to keep inviting people because I need viewership. Anyway, pride over profit. I think it's really important for me that people understand that ego should not play a role in business nor in personal relationships. It's not necessary. Be open, be honest, be transparent. Doc Thompson, one of his 5 rules was, it's not hurtful if it's true, right? That's right. If I'm saying something that's true, even about you, if you don't like it, this is true of me too. Man, I hear stuff I don't want to hear all the time, but I know it's true. So what do I keep my mouth shut, eat crow, and hopefully fix it. It's not hurtful if it's true. It can't be. It's the truth, right? Be transparent. It's not hurtful if it's true. I like this. Keep the talent happy. Okay. Well, I'm the talent. I'm staying happy because I have to be, because I can't pay myself enough to be really happy. So I'll be happy. Although we got some big things coming. Really, really good stuff. I wish I could share more, but and just because you can doesn't mean you should. Right? That applies across the board. Every business, every relationship, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Right? It's good words to live by. So when it comes to culinary operations, simple, keep it simple, leverage your capital asset, right? So say that your restaurant is not doing the numbers that you expected. You're 20% short of where you thought you were going to be when you calculated out, extrapolated what you thought was going to be the restaurant sales. So what do? You got a big ass kitchen with a couple extra employees in there. We can do a couple things. Maybe there's a food trailer we could supply. Put that out on the street on another side of town where people don't come from. They won't travel this far to eat here. So we'll put out or what if we started doing deliveries? We take one of those kitchen staff, put them on deliveries, or what if we do some catering? We do luncheons. We'll cater your luncheon for, it's our menu cost minus 20%, because look, it's bulk. You're serving in bulk. It's much cheaper to produce. It's way cheaper to serve. You don't need many hands, not as much to wash. You drop it off, leave it, get a check and go. I mean, that's turnkey. So keep it simple, leverage your assets. Do not let pride take over profit. Very important. Look, I've made that mistake before. I'm not too proud to admit it. There are times when I put things on the menu that I would not take up because I knew it was the best dish on the menu. Maybe it was the best dish on the menu according to me. The thing is, I'm not the paying guest. And if this guest wants salt on the table, put the daggum salt on the table. Just put it there. If you're too proud to allow somebody to put extra salt on your food, man, you have bigger issues than just an ego, right? Now, I have to say, if you've never seen it, you should watch it. It's a great show. I need to look and see if Jiro is even alive, but there's a great show. It was one of the very first Netflix food shows. It was called Jiro Dreams of Sushi. This old guy, Jiro, I forgot his last name, iconic sushi chef in the Japanese market. He had this place in Tokyo at Tokyo Station, and it's been there for a long time. Basically, you go in and it's hard to get reservations. You have to, again, this is another place that's like a year or two out. I think he's a 2 Michelin star establishment. Jiro is the premier sushi chef. And you would go in and you may have anywhere between 12 and 50 pieces of sushi. Just depends. You know, the average person gets out for about 150. I think it's closer to 200. But overall, you know, you're closer to more like 250. If you like sushi, if you eat fast, you might spend $300 because he'll keep putting pieces up there until you're done. But here's the thing: it's like an 8-seat sushi bar. It might even be less at 6. 2 meal periods: dinner and lunch, or lunch and dinner. And he just puts up one. They ask you what your likes and dislikes are, if you have any allergies, and then they create a menu for you. And each piece of sushi is put up individually. There are another slices with it. There are other accompaniments. It's one piece of sushi, sashimi, whatever that bite is. It's one piece at a time. It's fantastic. Now, that guy had an ego, but he was also the best at his craft probably in the world at that time. I mean, it's an older show, but Jiro Dreams of Sushi, Jiro. Go to Netflix. I'm sure it's still on there. Fantastic movie. And true passion for your trade, where you're willing to put in hours and hours and days and years to be a master of your craft. Man, there's something to be said about that. Yes, you sacrifice a lot. I've sacrificed a lot in my life to be in this industry. It sucks. But you know what? I'm not sure I'd trade it for anything. I love it. Can't say I love it more than anything. Well, I love more than anything. I don't love more than anyone, right? But, man, great show. Anyway, keep it simple. That's what he did. Simple, one bite at a time. Every single piece designed solely for you to experience and enjoy that bite. There is no smoke and mirrors. There is no... there's a place called, I think, Kubo Sushi. I don't know if it's still there. It's in Brentwood in California. Most beautiful presentations. Okay food. Oh my God, they had this bamboo tray. Real quick, bamboo tray with a raised platform, a raised tray. So that service tray was recessed. They had another service platter that they lined the sushi out on, and it had these beautiful what are they called? China berries in the back, red and white. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful presentation. It was behind that platter, and they had smoke, dry ice underneath. They poured some water in there, and the smoke kind of is flowed down over the sushi. And they had a unique perspective. They put French sauces over sushi. First time I'd ever seen it. Right? Beautiful. Food is okay. Presentation great, but you know it wasn't worth the $200 I paid for it. Again. What do you want? Quality, quantity, money, ego? You want to feed your ego? You get to choose. As a business owner in any industry, you choose. Choose wisely. All right. Enough serious talk. We're going to talk Wind Down Wednesday in 2 minutes' time with... Who's coming on? Oh, Laura Geen. Laura Geen of Ramo de Olivo up in Bentonville, Arkansas. Tune right in. Please come back. We'll be here waiting.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter at Food Biz Pro.
Have you done it? You catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror?
I'm one of those people you don't want to see naked.
Yeah, most of us. But I mean, you look and you're going, what the?
I know.
How did I get to whatever?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. Hey there, it's Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs to tell you about a different way to shed those pounds. This is brand new tech. It's only been around for a couple of years or so. It was based on research from the University of California that said there's a molecule called OEA that's found naturally in your body. It produces it in the Mediterranean diet, that when taken in concentrated amounts, it will actually make you feel fuller and boost your metabolism.
I've lost about 10 pounds so far.
It's amazing.
It really is cool.
A company said, we can take this to market and make this great product that'll help you. It's called Riduzone, RIDUZone.com, RIDUZone.com. It's Brad's worked. It's worked for Brad's, worked for me, countless other people. Go to Riduzone.com and try today. You're going to love it. Riduzone.com. Remember that, RIDUZone.com. diathrive.com.
Take the pain out of ordering your diabetic testing supplies with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to you when you need them. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. Diathrive.com. That's D-I-A, thrive.com.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
You got to push the button all the way, Patrick, and make sure it pops up. Button doesn't pop up. Can't hear my voice. Oh, it is time for the fourth course of today's meal. It would be typically dessert. We're going to do wine because it's Wednesday. I need a bottle right now. I'm just telling you. It's been a long week already. It's only Wednesday. Is that good or bad? I don't know. It's been productive, though. Really productive. Just saying. It's been a good week. Hope you have a good week, too. You know, I'm not complaining about business owners. I'm not. But I'm trying to offer some words of wisdom. I'm not the best business owner ever. I'm not the best chef ever. I'm not the most recognized chef ever. But I'm very intuitive. I'm very good at retaining information, kind of compiling all that data, and then kind of separating that data and discerning what the points that I should, extrapolating what's really important, what I need to teach people or what I need to share with people. I'm not a teacher. I'm not. You know what? You know what it should be? My sister told me one time the key to being a good life coach. She's an amazing person, by the way. Karen Mosher. Carey, I love you. Happy birthday. I know it's not today. It was Monday, but we had a very brief call. I hope things went well yesterday, or if it's today with Beach Nut up in upstate New York. She said the key to being a good coach is asking the right questions, because what you want to do, you lead the person to the right answer, the answer you want them to see, right? What you want them to understand. Anyway, and I have not seen a lot of comments today. Laura's on the phone. I'm going to answer in a second, but I haven't seen your comments because when I'm stuck on the Facebook watch page or the viewing party, then it's hard for me to see the comments because they disappear and they reappear in other places. Anyway, I'm not sure where to find them. Again, I'm not a very good social media manager. I'm working on it, though. I will be very soon. All right. We are going to go to the... Uh-oh. Okay. All right. We're going to go to the phones right now. Laura, I know you're there. Hold on one second. I'm coming. I got to find the right page. I'm going to answer. Laura, are you there? Can you hear me now?
I'm here. Hi, Patrick. How are you?
You know what? I'm okay. I'm better than not good. I'm actually really well, Laura. How are you?
Not sick anymore, I hope. I'm great. I'm excited because it's Wind Down Wednesday.
It is Wind Down Wednesday. You know, every day, but isn't every day Wind Down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? It's just Wind Down Wednesday sounds better because it's like it's hump day. It's time to celebrate the down slide to Friday, and
right.
And maybe go. Wednesday is a good day for happy hour. It really is.
It is, and the sun is out. It's warm, and people are sitting on the deck.
Okay, sitting on the deck. I'm just saying. I just want to clarify that, folks. Yes. Sitting on the deck. There's a great song. I know. I mention songs on here all the time, but there's a song by Finley Quay, this reggae artist out of Scotland. I've mentioned it before. He goes, "Sunday shining, weather is sweet yet. It makes me want to move my dancing feet." And every time I walk outside after a string of gray days, and I see the sun shining, and even if it's chilly out, you feel the warmth of the sun in your face and your arms or whatever, and you're like, I think of that line. It's the opening line of the song, and I don't know. I just like it. Finley Quay, look him up. I don't get anything from it. He's just a great artist. So Wine Down Wednesday. What are we celebrating today? Because we could always celebrate wine, but what are you celebrating today?
Well, today we're celebrating that it's Wednesday and it's a wine day, and I am very excited about some wines that we carry from the Wagner family. And a lot of people have heard of them. They've heard of Camus, which is one of the most famous vineyards in Napa, by Rutherford. And so we've got some really beautiful wines from them right now in our shop and on our wine list. And we just did a little tasting of some the other day, and we're going to do some tomorrow as well. And we just wanted to talk about this family and their brand and how awesome they are.
So okay?
I'm sure you've heard of them.
No. So the Camus line's great. So they have the Camus Cab, Camus Conundrum, and the Conundrum. So you have a Conundrum on here that's different, though, right? Typically, the Camus Conundrum it's a white blend, isn't it?
So the Conundrum, actually, they have more than just the white blend. They have a white blend, they have a red blend, and they have a sparkling Blanc de Blanc.
Which is what I see right here.
Actually, the one that we've done the best with is actually their sparkling Blanc de Blanc. Of course, we sell quite a bit of the red. But, yeah, I think they may have started with the white one was the first one. Now, this is some wines being made by Charlie Wagner, which is Chuck's son.
Yep.
So
Chuck
is the son of the original Charles and Lenora Wagner, and he's their son. And then he has a son, Charlie, and a daughter, Jenny, and they're all winemakers. So this is a winemaking family, and the Conundrum brand and the Mercelet, which is was Charlie's first, I believe, Chardonnay, and those were made in cement casks or cement kegs. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah, well, fermentation.
The Mercelet,
vessels.
It was made in cement, and so that was that first kind of Chardonnay that is away from the oak.
Oh,
so that one kind of hit the market.
So hold on a second. So
people love it. It's very coastal.
Yeah. So when they did was that the fermentation vessel or was that the aging vessel or both? They did it all in one container?
I think both.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So is what my understanding is. And so it really changed the way the Chardonnay tastes, obviously, because it's, the classic was to be oaked aged in like a French oak, and then maybe switch to American oak. And now it's very popular to put them in stainless at the end. Well, he did the cement the whole way through, so it really changed the character of the Chardonnay, and it's a very crisp, clean taste, and so became super, super popular. And I think the Mercelet brand was his first, and then he moved on to the Conundrum. So that is all the son or grandson, actually.
Wow. So I'm curious. I'm going to look some things up. I'm curious if being in that in the concrete, right, in that cement fermentation vessel, if that gave it any property, if that kind of dried it out like Chablis, right? Chablis has that kind of metallic, minerally taste to it. It's kind of chalky. But I mean, I like Chablis,
right, because
they have a certain characteristic that's like the unoaked Chardonnays, but it's really crisp and almost super dry depending on the Chablis. But I wonder if there's any chemical process that just a personal question in my head I shouldn't talk about out loud. I need to learn that I don't need to ask every question in my head. Just because I can doesn't mean I should. Doc Thompson's rule number 5. But I'm curious now because they have a very unique flavor to their wines, a very unique the property, the body of the wine's different than a lot of other these bigger homes or houses, we'll call them in California, these bigger brands.
Right. Mm-hmm. And the other thing to know about these Chardonnays is that he's producing them. The grapes are coming from Santa Lucia Highlands and Monterey and Santa Barbara, so they're farther south as well. And so
Santa Barbara is pretty far south
from the Napa.
I mean, Santa Barbara's not that far. You go out through L.A. to the Simi Valley. You go through the San Fernando Valley to the Simi Valley, and just I mean, when basically the end of the Simi Valley, you take a right, and there's you're not far from Santa Barbara. It's right there. It's pretty far south for wines.
Yeah, it is. But there's some great wines coming out of there, and some great white wines. So the other wine that that Chuck's older son Charlie is making, that's become super popular in our area, especially, is the Red Schooner. And I don't know if you've heard of this.
I have actually. Schooner. I have heard of it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. And it's a Malbec, and he's getting those grapes. He's actually bringing those grapes in from the Andes, the mountains of Argentina. So it's a true Malbec. It is delicious. We've done really, really well with this wine, and some of the restaurants around us are serving it too, by the glass or by the bottle, and it's definitely become a favorite. Red Schooner, definitely look for that one. Yeah, so it's so Voyage 7, I think, is their newest one, right? Their Voyage 7 Schooner Red. It's so they use the same method for that wine. I know this one specifically, that it's the same methods they use to do their Cabernets. And what I like, so Malbec is not always a person's favorite grape. It can have kind of a musty aroma and flavor to it, but it has a little bit of ripe plum and cherry, and it's a big flavor. It's got that French oak, lots of tannin. The tannins aren't too, they're there, but they're not too pronounced like a big Cab. I think I love Malbec, but a lot of people it's got a unique flavor to it. But I think it's a very drinkable wine. I think this goes well with anything you drink a big Cab with. Exactly. I think it is so drinkable, and it is it's a very rich wine. I don't think the tannins are quite as big as a Cab. It does go well with food, and especially I think it goes really well with Italian food. Mm-hmm. I like it with a pasta, a rich sauce. The Malbecs are a great choice. Other than a good Italian, it's another great choice. With that kind of, or even a little bit of spice, because those Malbecs tend to be a tad bit earthier than a Cab, but it still has that lush, rich taste that a Cab has. Yeah, and so when I talk, and it has the boldness of a Cab, like it has some similarities to a Cab. It's got a very unique flavor profile. And you're right, it's not nearly as tannic as a Cab, which I think pairs better with a broader range of food. Cab and duck, even though duck can be a little fatty, it's slightly gamey, but not so fatty, especially if you render the fat out of the skin like you should. It doesn't have to pair with, it pairs well with steak, to poultry, to wild game. I think it's a little more okay. So I love big Cabs, I do, and I didn't like Malbec when I first started drinking it, because look, Malbec is not what you expect when you taste it the first time. It's a completely different flavor profile from Zinfandel, or Zinfandel is kind of on its own out there, but Pinot's kind of really, it goes well with everything other than the nose. But Cabs are big and bold, and this is big and bold in a whole different way. Except the tannins. The tannins are, especially the tannins are lighter. It is, and it is. Sometimes it's an acquired taste, but what I find with the wine bar is a lot of people start who aren't Cab drinkers yet start with the Malbec. Like Malbecs have become so popular. It's an easy go-to for a lot of people, and I guess it's a good, not necessarily a red starter wine, but introduction to a bigger wines. It's a great way to go in, because how Cabs can be a little pricey, or they need to open more. So a Malbec is really meant to be drunk now. So that's kind of nice for wine drinkers, especially at a wine bar. You can just order a glass and it's drinkable right then and there. So that's kind of nice, and it pairs well with, like you said, a wide variety of foods. So it goes really well with our meat and cheese plates and things like that. People really enjoy it. And by the way, Ramo de Oliva Ramo, you guys have the best meat and cheese plates. And you know what else is meant to be drunk right now? Or who else? I was. It's been that kind of week. It's not driving me to drinking, but it's just been busy. Have you guys been busy up there? Yes, we have. It's all the biking trails in Bentonville. If you haven't been here, there's like a gazillion more biking trails, and we have tourists now, which we didn't used to have, that come here specifically for the biking. And we have so many mountain biking trails and greenway. And we had a couple couples today come in off the bike trails, and they're just thirsty. You know, they want to drink. So yeah, it's busier, especially now that we're hitting spring and the nice weather. There's a lot of people out. So, you know, I know it's kind of a curse, but it's a blessing at the same time. I'm really jealous of this time of year up there. I have to tell you, the easiest place I've ever lived, it was the easiest part of the country to ever move into and be recognized and just welcomed. I really miss the biking. And I'll tell you, y'all can give a big thanks to Stuart and Tom Walton. I always say Tom first. I'm going to say Stuart first. Yes. Stuart and Tom Walton, you two being the biking nuts that you are, the addicts to, you know, holding your line, which is what we call it when you ride on that line on the side of the road by yourself to figure out how to not wreck other bikes, stay your course. Thanks to those two, Northwest Arkansas has probably, it's got to have one of the top 5, you know, both road biking and mountain biking systems, trail systems in the country. Fantastic. I really miss it. I wish that they would do the same thing down here. I don't think they can because look, it's Dallas or my you know my what used to be my home is Houston. But yeah, I really miss that. I used to love riding and then stopping by to get a cold beer, maybe a glass of wine, or when they were closed, mimosas on Sunday, of course. You know, when we were going to the farmers market, and then stopping by to show you the wonderful things we got. But yeah, I miss that time of year up there. Exactly. I know it's just like the beginning. Everything's just starting to bud, and people are coming out, and everyone's walking the trails and biking. And one of the couples I met today, they told us they drove 16 hours to bike here. They came from Virginia, and wow. I love that we're like on the map. Because it didn't used to be like that, you know. We always like to joke we're the flyover state, or you know, nobody knows where it is, or they laugh because no one has shoes it's about Sam's or Walmart, right? It's they just know you because I'm serious. Yeah, Bentonville is only know it's on the map because of Sam's and Walmart. There's 190 plus flights a week into XNA, the Northwest Arkansas Regional Airport. That's crazy for such. Yeah, and it's growing. Oh, I know. I mean, look, Fayetteville, Bentonville, Rogers, maybe the whole area, including everything in between, 253, maybe 350,000 people for that whole corner of the state. Maybe a little more. Yeah, it's not big. Maybe a little more, right? But it's not big by any means. You're talking, you know, a couple million square miles with that population spread, and that's including the University of U of A. U of A. Go Razorbacks, Woo Pig Suey. Okay, what the hell is the Woo Pig Suey thing about? Not to get off wine, what is Woo Pig Suey? Do you know? Because I know you didn't go to school there, but what does it mean? You know what? I didn't go to school there, but Tom did, and I don't know. You know, it's a football thing, it's a sports thing, but it's something about, I guess the Razorback is a wild pig. Yes, I get that. Here in Arkansas, not that I've ever seen one. I've never seen one. I've eaten them. It's okay. I know that they're here. They're tasty. And I guess that's how people originally called them was Woo Pig Suey. I don't know, something like that, and it just kind of stuck. Well, but it's unusual and it's fun. No, that's cool. I mean, that makes sense. So, I mean, I've been look. My family were primarily they were all smart people who maybe they were lazy. No, that's not true because they were farmers at the same time. So, but you know, suey. I mean, that's how you called pigs, suey. You yelled suey, and the pigs came around. They ate, and then you closed the pen, and later on you ate them. They were tasty. But okay, that makes sense now. But Woo Pig Suey, okay. Yeah. I get it. I mean, look, yeah, you know. A&M is howdy. They're tough. You know, howdy. Okay, howdy, really? So Texas A&M, Dane was going to A&M, and one of their things when they're a freshman is if you go to any sporting event, especially a football game, you cannot sit down the entire time as a freshman. You have to stand at your seat. Okay, don't get me wrong, but that's as gentle word messed up as St. Joseph's University. Yes, all my friends went to St. Joe's and later to where'd they go? It doesn't really matter because I don't talk to you anymore. So they have a hawk, right? Their mascot is the hawk. And it says the hawk will never die is their their tagline. So the hawk, this poor mascot during a basketball, football, baseball, doesn't matter what women's or men's sports, they can't stop flapping their wings.
The entire game. Are you kidding me?
Oh dear.
Yeah. I mean,
poor thing. That's a lot.
What if you get a triple overtime? You must have a replacement mascot. Like, oh my God, my shoulders are killing me. Will somebody please take over? It's not like they flap fast to fly. They go very slow, but the entire game they can't stop flapping the damn wings. What about halftime? Nope. Got to keep flapping.
No, really. I've never heard of that. That's interesting.
Yeah, kind of silly. So, Laura, I've never asked you this before. You and Tom cook a lot at home. I've been to your house. I think the first time was like Memorial Day weekend or something. Labor Day weekend, actually. It was Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
And it was rainy. I got in the pool anyway. It was cold as heck. No, that was not the first time. That was the second time I was at your home. It was really cold and rainy. I got in the pool anyway. Because I can't pass up a good swim regardless of the weather. What is your favorite food to cook, or what is your favorite to eat? Look, y'all cook a lot. You make all the wonderful dishes at Ramo. But what is your favorite meal to go out and eat? I know you guys go down to, is it Wasabi in
Fayetteville?
In Fayetteville, yeah. Right
yeah,
there,
we do love sushi. Yeah, we do love sushi, but for us to cook at home, we're really simple. Like, let me tell you, we love to grill. So it's just easy.
Tom loves to grill.
It's fun, and we like to grill everything. Yeah, we love to grill everything. We'll grill a piece of fish or some chicken, and we like to grill our vegetables as well. I love making that, especially in the spring and summer when the farmers market is open. I love grilling fresh vegetables. And then cutting them up and tossing them in a salad with some of my olive oil balsamic. So that's one of our favorite things to eat, and we do eat a lot of vegetables and salads. And we cook what's fresh. You know, we are always either sautéing or blanching some vegetables and then sautéing. We love any kind of fresh vegetable. So that's our kind of go-to. And if we're just being home, just us, and we don't want to cook, we'll just make our own meat and cheese plate at home and have a glass of wine and sit on the patio. I mean, that's kind of our go-to.
So, by the way, how's Jake doing? How's Jake doing, by the way? Because he's same age as Dan.
Jake is doing great. My son Jacob is a junior this year in the business school at U of A. And he's doing really, really well. He's on course, and I love it. You know, he's the easy kid. Put it that way. I don't have any worries there. He's the easy kid. Yeah.
I have two easy.
And then my daughter Carly works for me.
So it's Carly working. Is she still working at the other place over there? Tusk.
She does. She waits tables over there. She's at the community college full time, so she's working on her associate's degree. She's a semester away, and so we're proud of her for going back to school because you know that's hard.
She's a little like her mama.
Yeah, she is.
A free spirit, so to speak. I mean, in the best of ways. I mean, look, Carly's a beautiful young lady. She's smart. She is really smart, but she's definitely got a little bit of gypsy in her. Yeah, she's such I love. So I've only been to Tusk a few times, and she was my server twice, and she's such a phenomenal, engaging server, such a charming personality. Anyway, great young lady. So I'm going to ask you a favor. I think we should do something different on these days. Add a little bit to this, especially if Luke is ever next door. I'll call him personally if you want. I think it would be really fun, especially since they're right next door. You pick the wine.
Okay.
All right. And then he picks a dish to pair it with, and we talk about that, and we'll put some photos up same day. I mean, look, I'm not trying to promote Luke because I love Luke, but look, Luke, you got enough promotion behind you to begin with. But I think that'd be kind of fun to kind of find that balance. And also, I would love Luke's insight into pairing wine with food and where the idea came from. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a new dish. He has such a great menu.
Absolutely.
There's a variety of stuff over there with that beautiful, wood burning oven over there, and your selection of wines. I think that would be really fun. What do you think?
Yeah, it would be great.
Okay.
I would love to work with Luke. That would be awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, again,
we might have to push it a little later.
I should have probably said that off the air, but hey, well, it can't be too much later because my show ends in just a few minutes. But I could, what I could do? I could push the show back an hour, where it starts at 2 p.m. Central and goes to 4 instead of 1 to 3. and then maybe that would work. But you know, the reason I thought that is this kind of downtime between lunch and dinner for a restaurant like Oven and Tap is it might work. You know what I miss? I miss Oven and Tap's variety. I miss the variety of beers they have. They have all. I mean, they always have something unique. Well, everything's unique that they put up on the menu.
They do, and they have a great selection of beers. And I actually don't know what they have right now because I'm not the huge beer drinker that you are. So we'll have to go and explore. Talk to Luke.
The secret's out. Yep, the secret's out. I'm a huge beer drinker. No, I like beer a lot. I've been trying to spread. You know, I'll tell you, I was never really until about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I was never a whiskey drinker, and especially rye. Rye was just like that thing. It's like, okay, it's okay in the mouth, a little burnt, but as soon as you started to swallow, it's like it's burned from like front of the gums to the bottom of the gut. It just wasn't attractive to me. But since I started with scotches maybe 7-10 years ago. Then I transitioned a few years ago into bourbon, and now with the new distilling techniques, the way they treat the grain during the chilling process and bottling process, I'm telling you, I'm enjoying it. Not as much as I love wine, but pretty close. I like beer because I'm going to have one. I'm full. I feel it a little bit and I'm done. Okay. Maybe I have two. Yeah. And if I'm not driving, maybe three, but you know,
then you're done.
You know, I do like beer a little too much, but, it's, you know, so what is the Devil's Brew? Is it beer? Is it wine? I don't think there is one. I think it's all about the internal, just everything in moderation as frequently as possible. I think that's our new motto.
Absolutely. Everything in moderation as frequently as possible. I like that.
So I heard you're heading down this way.
I'm going to be there Friday. So is there a possible time that we can get together and drink wine?
Maybe. What time are you coming down? If it's early enough. Oh, you know what would be great? So your friend June, our friend June is a mutual friend. June is a fantastic lady who does a lot of wedding ceremonies. I know she's doing a little church work down here, preaching a little gospel. She's amazing. She's such a nice lady. And, I've only met her once. What's funny, but we've stayed in contact. She became a friend of my sister's. And, every once in a while we just chat back and forth, seeing how are you? What are you doing? But I know she's in town as well.
Right.
So, what time do you get in? Are you leaving in the morning?
So I should be there about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and I'll be there overnight, and then I'm leaving again Saturday afternoon. So just a quick one.
Okay, so I may have I have obligations, starting Friday evening through the weekend. But if you all could if you would like to come to the studio, it would be great.
Okay.
We could maybe move your segment to Friday, and I'm on from 1 to 3 live. I know it's kind of sucks to leave up there early.
Yeah.
But door to door without traffic, it's about 5 hours. With traffic, 6. So it'd be really fun to have you. And you could bring wine. We drink it on the air.
I could do it.
Okay. I mean,
we could do that.
If that's okay for you, it's okay for me.
But we'll try. So we'll be in contact about that. I'll let you know my exact time.
She's like, Patrick, I don't want to leave that early. Plus, you have other obligations. I understand. So, hey, please tell me that your man is Tom's not pulling his hair out because it's tax season.
No, he's doing all right. He is pulling his hair out, but he's doing all right. I think he's almost on top of it because he does the quarterly audits for all of his clients. So he's in audit season. Is what he's in. So yeah.
So what's really funny is
he's doing all right.
Tom is like this khakis and short sleeve button down, tucked in Clark Kent by day. Come weekend or late evenings, he's the baggy gym pants, and halfway unbuttoned linen shirt, linen button down shirt with his what is it? He wears that cool pendant that I'd never seen because he's always got a button up shirt or a polo shirt.
Right. That's when he's on vacation, when he has on a Hawaiian shirt and he has on some sort of necklace. Yeah.
Yes, and maybe
on vacation.
Maybe an English driver. Hey, we got just a few seconds. But hey, Laura, thanks for coming on. Give Tom a big hug. As always, anything else from you. Have a great weekend, and hopefully we'll catch up on Friday before I have to take care of my stuff. But thank you so much again.
Okay, it's good talking to you. Bye,
You too.
Patrick.
All right, folks, that's it. 2 hours in the books. Chef Patrick Mosher signing off. Yeah, I may have offended a few people, but I'm sure I'll offend more tomorrow. So come back tomorrow. Remember, you are a treat. Be nice to yourself. Ciao for now. Chef Patrick signing off. Have a good night.
This is the only 24-hour take